So here I have bought a Starboard Futura 121. Now it's seen a lot of action, so I bought it cheap on eBay as a project. So it had a few dings in it. So we're going to have a go at see if we can get it back on the water, bring it back to life. Now the first thing I did was put it on the floor, soft floor, and I stood on it and felt it. Now what it didn't say in the ad was that we've got the deck is softening in certain places, and this is causing fractures. What they said is we've got a bit of damage here, but really that's easy to repair. The real worrying bits are the cracks that are appearing there, and on the other side there, and this is where the deck's gone soft. Right, so the board has been fully stripped, dug out all the bits where there's cracks, and it started to get quite bad. So I've sanded down the whole board now with 180, and we're just going to redo the entire surface of the board. But I think we'll mask that up because I do like him, he's quite cool. I do like the wood as well, so I think we're going to replace some of the wood effect and then do a slightly different design. Now I'm going to blow this all off and get it back inside for the next stage. Right, we're back inside. We're going on to the next stage. We've sanded, dug out, cleaned up all of the bad bits. We chamfered all the edges as well so that the glass sits better in there. Now I've started this back one. What we're doing is to fill the holes. First of all, I'm using fiberglass paste. I'm pushing the fiberglass paste in like so. So I'm pushing it in to the edges like this, pushing it right underneath any of these bits here, any bits there, moving it all around on that so it completely covers there, and then I start squeegeeing out, start spreading it out like that, so it's really pushed in to these edges here, and then building it up and then smooth it off. I don't want to get it level, I want it a little bit shallow because to allow for the next stage after this. Right, we're at the next stage now. The board has been fiberglassed and made structurally sound. We've pressed down on it. There's no give on what were the weak points. That's been sanded, and now what we're doing is we've got some P38 filler just over the top of these bits, just to get rid of the small holes. And this is going to be sanded out, so it's just to blend the repairs in. So I'm going to take the board outside, sand it off, and get it ready for the next stage. Right, I've sanded the board down, basically the filler down with 80, and then gone over it by hand with a block with 80 and then 180. So I'm now put another coat of filler in, but it's just a fine coat of filler. You can see through it, and it's just to get it smoothed out, and any bits where the original graphics edge there, you can feel the graphics, just to bridge it, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tickle with 180, and then I'll go over the whole board with 240, and then by hand with 320, and then on the sides I'll go down it with 600, wet and dry, and then we're ready for the next stage. Okay, so the top of the board is now totally sanded and ready for priming. So I'm going to turn my attention to the bottom of the board. I did inspect it when I first got it, and it looks in really good condition. So all I've done is I've T-cutted it with basic T-cut that you get for cars. Give it a right good scrub, and then round the edges I've cleaned up with alcohol just all along, because we're going to mask this off and we want the tape to stick nicely. We don't want any kind of bits of dirt or anything in there. So that's the next stage. Going to mask off the underside of the board. Okay. Right, so that's the underside of the board masked up, all ready to go. I've used cardboard on the bottom, just gives it a little bit more protection while I'm messing around with the top. And the other reason is because I've got a lot of cardboard and I may as well reuse stuff. The edge I've masked so that it's just onto the underside of the board, and I'll let the paint come onto the edge when I'm painting it, and I'll just T-cut it off afterwards. That way we get full coverage right on the rail. Okay, next stage. We're all masked up, ready to go. It's been cleaned with alcohol, tacked off with a tack rag, and we're ready for primer. Just going to use a light coat of white primer over the required areas. Not too much, I don't want too much product on this board. Just going to add weight, and it's just not good to put too much stuff on. So here we go. Okay, that's it, all primed, dried, scotched with red Scotch-Brite, blown off and tacked, ready for some colour. Right, so we've got the sides in colour. Gone for a kind of blue at the back. Probably could do with a little bit more colour on it, but what we do, I don't want to keep piling it on, so we're just going to let that dry for a day or two, and then we'll give it a little bit of a flat, and then another coat around the sides, and then on to the next stage, which is a wood effect. Right, that's the graphics all on, wood effect on. It's all been heated in and it's sat for a couple of days. Looking good, I'm really happy with it. The wood effect is it's a 3M Dynoc material. All the graphics we had to draw and cut out ourselves, as we couldn't really find any decent ones on the internet, so we've all made them by hand. Next stage is going to get a light coat of resin all over, and then a texture coat on the top for grip.